Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us here on Satya Live on this beautiful third day of March in 2024. My name is Michael Benjamin. I'm joining you this morning for our Reverend Ali is away at conference and she's in a deep immersion work and she's having a great weekend. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to get the tap to be here to share a message with you, to inspire you through my heart and through what's coming forth through me. So thank you very much for joining us wherever you're finding your way through the internet, through whether you're seeing us midweek on our YouTube playbacks or on the affiliated New Thought Network playbacks, the YouTube pages, or whether you're joining us live right here and now. Whenever you join us, we know that it's the perfect time for you, and that's our awareness around that. So thank you for joining us. My name is Michael Benjamin, so I'll be hosting us here today. So thank you. And so as we get started, I invite you to give yourself permission as we have a moment of evocation, a moment of prayer, a moment of setting the stage. So if you would please just close your eyes and begin to feel comfortable in this very moment. Begin to be comfortable in the awareness that there is a divine and infinite presence. We know that we live and move and have our beingness in it. For we are spiritual beings having a human experience, a human evolution. And so I like to affirm, and if you'll let my words be yours, or if you'll repeat after me, I give myself permission to be right here, right now. I take a breath. I give myself permission to be here and now. I'm tuning into the now moment, to the present moment, where I hear the sounds of life in the room, and I hear that hum of the divine presence, which is presencing itself always and in all ways. I'm in the awareness that I'm a spiritual being having a human incarnate. I'm tuning into that divine and infinite presence, which is sourcing, fueling, and substancing itself even now as we speak in this moment. Take a breath. There's nowhere else to be, and there's nothing else to be doing than to being here, right here, and now. So for now, I give myself permission to be here. And when you're ready, take another breath and open your eyes. Beautiful. Well, folks, today I'm going to be bringing you a message through my heart, through my mind, through my studies, and through all my awareness on springing into being. And that is the talk title today. That is my inspired place that I'm coming from. What do I mean when springing into being? Well, what does springing mean? What does springing mean? And so for today's purposes, the definition of spring that I'm using is to move rapidly or suddenly from a constrained position, to move rapidly or suddenly from a constrained position. The question that I ask you is to be in the awareness of this time-space continuum. Is there really time? Is there time that is required for things to happen? And although I understand that aspect of the mind, that ego mind wants to say, yeah, it takes time to this or it takes time to that. But in the light, in the spiritual realm, which is the ultimate reality, which is our real state of being, there is no time and there is no space. And when it fires instantly everywhere. The ever-present presence needs no time. And so with some reality of like 90% of our thoughts, 90% of our thoughts from yesterday and yesteryear come with us unconsciously into today. And so, as that is true for us up until this message, up until this time, perhaps, but for by and large, 80 to 90% of us are carrying unconsciously with us 90% of our thoughts from yesterday. And so, if that's true, then we're actually replaying old stories, are we not? So, as we know that we are triune in nature, that we are literally an energetic being having a physical evolution, and we know that we're always changing, like we're never the same, not even now, not even from 5 minutes ago. Cells are moving, skin follicles are dropping off. We got new being born. My hair is becoming grayer by the day. Ha ha. Um, Literally, sometimes I'm a little bit heavier, sometimes a little bit thinner, but I'm demonstrating to myself that there is an ever changing ultimate reality that's always unfolding, right? Okay, so from that awareness, we want to come into the awareness that our brain, that our mind, that our local mind actually affects the brain, which actually affects the chemical system throughout our body, and the chemical of emotions is directly derived from what it is that we're thinking. Okay, so as there is a reality that our thoughts create. Have you heard that before? Well, I know for many of the channels that we're broadcasting on right now, I'm preaching to the choir. But if you're hearing this for the first time or the second time, perhaps it's that moment in time right now that you begin to refire and rewire and reprogram and literally change your life forevermore. We have the ability to literally release the constraints that have restricted our forward movement, our forward progress. And as we do, we literally can catapult into the future, for there is no time and space in reality. So, with that being said, there's a few things that we want to do immediately. We want to become aware. It is through our awareness of what? Through the awareness that I'm continuously having a dialogue, which is not optional, because thoughts are not really optional. Have you ever noticed that you can try and prevent yourself from having thoughts, but ultimately there's a constancy, a barrage of thoughts that are occurring through your local mind. 8 to 13,000 thoughts a day on average. 80% of them are not kind towards thyself. 80%. Now, what we know is as we begin to think a thought over and over and over and over and over, as we do so, we are actually programming the subconscious, or we are programming the infinite, and we are building the consciousness through the programming. And when it fires, it happens, it becomes that. So, this is how we can become conscious change agents in our own life. This is consciously aware of the thoughts that we're having. And as we practice more and more, like when we go to the gym on a frequent basis, when we go more than once a week, or when we go more than once a year, we begin to put ourselves into shape. We are training our physicality. But part of that training of the physicality is training the mind, training our local mind. As the more we do it, the 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 more we are becoming in congruence, or we becoming in alignment with that vision, that which we vision for ourselves. And then when we get to the beach and we take off our shirt and we feel okay about it. And I'm speaking to myself because I'm going to be in Cabo next week. So I've been training pretty hard on that, which I'm doing. I've been putting this to practice, and I'm down a couple notches in my belt. I feel like I'm going to be comfortable taking my shirt off, and everything's good, right? But that's because of the congruence of which I've been living in over the last 4 to 6 months. So, that's where I enter that big word, the coming together of the thoughts that you're having and your human footsteps moving consistently with your vision, that which you want to be or that what you're holding into mind for yourself. We call that being congruent. Being congruent is your action steps consistent with your desire, your dream. Do you even have a dream? That's a great, very meaningful question that you need to ask yourself. What is the vision that I have for myself a year from now? What is the vision I have myself 2 years or 5 years? Because it's pretty simple. The creative process is, once we have an awareness of it, that we need to begin to think in a certain way and act in a certain way and start to take human footsteps in a certain way that are consistent with that which we vision. So when visioning, we give ourselves permission to open up and to become viscerally aware of that which we're holding in mind. If it is different than the person of the past, then we want to become acutely aware of that. Look, I'm growing as a human. I'm changing as a human. I'm entering jump time. I'm moving into a new state of being for the purpose of um, moving in a direction that I'm now desiring, whatever that might be for you. And when we have that in mind, then we begin to reverse engineer that process. What would that person be doing today? What would that person need to change? What would that person want to let go of as far as my past? Like what in my past is it that I'm wanting to release and then pick up something new to move in the direction that I'm desiring now? It's pretty simple. But it's most simple when we give ourselves permission to do a few things. So, uh, first thing is, on a daily basis, my invitation for you is to give yourself time to actually tune in by being mindful enough to turn off and disconnect from the busy world, to literally give yourself permission to say, I'm going to put my phone down. I'm going to turn my computer off. I'm going to turn off the TV, and I'm going to give myself permission to tune in to that higher self that is always on and never off, always available. And so I literally just give myself permission to tune in for a few minutes by closing my eyes, taking some breaths, and beginning to open up my heart and open up my awareness that I am communing with the presence. And in reality, folks, communing with the presence is not optional. You don't get to turn it off. It's always on and never off. So by taking some breaths and we center ourselves in the present moment, we begin to put ourselves into the most creative, powerful space that we can possibly be. um, we ask ourselves if we can begin to tune into the frequency, the awareness of our future self, rather than hold on to the familiar patterns of our past self. And as we begin to ask, the most important thing we want to do is listen for the answers. Yes, I am willing to be that. I'm willing to become that. I'm willing to become that so fast that I don't have to wait years for it to happen. Like I've seen quantum shift and quantum change take place in my life and in my loved ones' lives instantly. Instantly. Another thing we want to do is ask ourselves, can I be defined by the vision of my future rather than the memories of my past? Can I redefine myself by that which I'm springing into being to become? See, we know that we cannot have what we're not willing to become in consciousness or in reality. We have to become it. We have to be it, but we cannot be what we cannot see. So the visioning process, that giving ourselves permission to actually capture that vision, to get a hit on it, to begin to define it and design it, and to really feel it and identify the emotions that we would be feeling when in that place. This is what we want to be now. This is what we want to become in the today, in the human footsteps of today and tomorrow and next week. And as we begin to move in that direction, we are now congruent. Well, what's happening systemically within the physical is that it's rewiring and refiring, and it's programming the field, the spiritual realm, to be that. The most valuable thing that you can begin to give yourself is permission and awareness to see it changing shape, to see it showing up in your life. As you know that right where you are always supported. This divine presence is always supporting you, always and in all ways. And so when the phone begins to ring and a new conversation begins to take place, and as you begin to see that your footsteps have altered and your path is altered and the road is materializing with opportunity, with invitations, with communications, with correspondence, it's happening for you, and it's always on and never off, and it's unlimited, it's completely unleashed. And so you've made a decision to change direction. And so you've changed your thinking. You've asked yourself questions. You've begun to listen for the answers, and you're moving in that direction. You begin to experience this springing or this catapulting forward where you know that your vision is now pulling you, right? You used to come from the place where the pain was pushing you. I've got to change. I've got to do something different with my life. I can't go another year where I am yielding the same miserable results of the past. So the pain was pushing you. You've now met me, or you're meeting in the subject of quantum physics, where you're basically in the awareness that you have the ability to reprogram. And as you're reprogramming, you're by way of spiritual law, you're refiring and you're rewiring, and your field begins to change. The physical form of your affairs begins to change. The people that you begin to share company with will change. And as you begin to experience that happening, I want you to begin to celebrate it now. Celebrate it in the small. When you ask for it and it gives it to you, I want you to acknowledge it. So you acknowledge it by saying, yes, I see you. I see you showing up as my life. I see you literally taking shape. And as you begin to give yourself permission to celebrate it in the now moment, you begin to grow momentum. You're affirming it. And as you're affirming it, that energetic, that ball of energy, that sphere of infinite and divine unlimited potentiality is you're tithing with it. You're sharing with it in a way that you are communing with it, and you are saying, yes, thank you, more please, even better. Yes, thank you, more please, even better. And as you're doing this, you are literally skipping down the road of life, doing cartwheels in the sun. But ultimately, what I want you to experience with me is how you begin to jump out of bed. Your story begins to change. That story in the morning. I don't know if you've ever had the experience of paying attention to your thoughts when you begin to wake up every day, but I venture to guess that a lot of those thoughts are not very good. They're not very kind towards yourself. They don't necessarily have you springing out of bed. Oftentimes, people tell me that they don't want to get up, that there's this story that's playing that it's not time to get up. It's not time. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm sorry. We didn't come here to live in a world that we don't want to be in. So if you find yourself in that place, this may be the moment for you. This may be the moment that you decide to jump forward and rewrite your story, because you are the only person that can do that. I can't do it for you. Your loved ones cannot, your husband, your wife, your beloved, your boss, your kids, your friends, they cannot choose for you. Only you can do that. That is the inconvenient truth. When you begin to take responsibility for those thoughts that are playing through your head, those thoughts that are playing through your mind, and you begin to capture them and say to yourself, wait a minute, I've heard that old story before. I know what's getting ready to happen. I'm sorry. I'm going to call time out on that right now. I'm rewiring and refiring and reprogramming. And so, what is it that I'm reprogramming with? I'm reprogramming with those thoughts of peace, of of prosperity, of how easy and fun and enjoyable this human experience is when and as that person, and I begin to experience it right now. I'll give you a good example. Every day, I 5 days a week I go to the gym. And I'm at the gym and I row. I row 10,000 meters. I'm doing 50 to 60,000 meters a week. I've been doing it for months. And I will tell you that that's 46, 44, 46, 48 minutes, depending on the day. But what I can tell you is it's not easy. It's not easy when the heart rate starts pumping. And I do it. Another thing is I do a 20-second relax and a 1 minute sprint, a 20-second relax and a 1 minute sprint. And I'm telling you that at about, oh, I mean, I start to feel it in minute 2 or minute 3 or minute 4 when my blood pressure starts pumping and my heart rate starts getting up. I start thinking about all the reasons why I'm not going to do this. I start thinking about all the reasons why, like, I'm going to shorten my workout today. I start thinking about all the reasons why I'm not going to do this for 45 minutes. But I start to catch a hold of that vision. I start to feel really good about my physicality. I start to feel really good about shedding things that I no longer need to carry. I start to feel really good about notching that belt down. I start to think really good about myself. I start to begin, my story starts moving in the direction of the person that's already at 10,000 meters. I start to begin to picture the 50% marker, 5,000 meters. I'm on a standard piece of equipment in the gym, but I'm picturing myself being on the ocean. I'm picturing myself with a pylon at 5,000 meters out and another pylon at 7,500 meters, which is what I'm calling the home stretch. And I start to see that 5,000, that 7,000 meter mark. And now, as I begin to move past 3 and 4 and 5, I'm not even noticing them anymore. And I get past 5 and I make that turn to 7,500. I start to see that image and I'm dripping sweat at this point and it's melting off of me. And I am in congruence with that 10,000 meters, right? And so when I cross that 7,500 meters, I'm no longer questioning, am I going to make it home? My mantra becomes, I'm going to finish fast, finish fast, finish fast, finish fast. And I start screaming. And when I hit that 10,000 meters, from 9 to 10,000 meters is the easiest point in my journey. It's an amazing experience. The vision's pulling me at that point. The current of life is pulling me. And I'm absolutely in congruence with the 10,000 meter mark. And so I share that with you. And I want you to begin to, once you've caught that vision and you've caught that vision and you know that I'm moving, I'm graduating, I'm evolving to a new level of ease because life is easy. Life is for us and life is free. Contrary to all the beliefs of those BS, we call BS as belief systems that we've grown up with, that we have to work hard for our money or that you got to work hard. It's not easy out there. That's all BS. In some ways, it's bullshit. It's what other people think. It's not necessarily the truth because, see, you came here naked with everything you needed, completely connected to the infinite source, which wants to have the experience of being human as you. It wants the joyride as you. It gets to experience the high of highs and the low of lows. It gets to experience grief as me. It gets to experience the person that's skiing, snow skiing as me, going down the mountain at 30 or 40 or 50 in powder. It gets to experience that as me. That's the purpose of the experience. But when you catch the vision of the next greatest yet to be, I want you to rehearse what that person is doing. I want you to put the clothes on of that person. I want you to clothe up. When you wake up in the morning and you start to hear no thoughts in your mind, I want you to override those thoughts and I want you to say yes to a new way of being. And as you do that, you will absolutely begin to spring into being that which you've already defined as the human footsteps that you're going to take consistent with the next greatest yet to be. It's that easy. And you will begin to yield results instantly. You will you will see how life evolves to meet you where you are as your newest version of yourself. And when that happens, I want you to pay the tithe. I want you to pay the tithe by acknowledging it. I see you, source energy, shaping. I see you working in a new direction for me, as me. I see you showing up as opportunity for me. Thank you. Thank you. Even better. More, please. Let's go. Let's get after it. And it's a beautiful thing. And so my time is coming to an end here today. I want you to know that we have a whole host of possibility partners, licensed, trained mental science practitioners who will help you take your life to the next level. You're never alone because there's always a practitioner available for you, be it Dr. Pam, Reverend Allie, myself, all of our affiliates through the affiliated New Thought Network. Wherever you are, we have a practitioner to sit with you. You just need to reach out and let me know, hey, I'm looking to sit with somebody. I'm looking for a possibility partner. Okay. And in so doing, we're there. We will meet you where you are and help you get where you want to go. We are the possibility partner for you. So I look forward to hearing from you. You can always make a love offering here at our center through Venmo, the Satya Center in Ogden, Utah. We appreciate that because as you contribute fiscally and financially, we hear that. And that's a prayer request for us to keep going and growing. So thank you very much. And we are a tithing center. We share that with all of those that support us. And so I want to end and process today. So if you'll join with me in just wrapping up this information, I know that it came hot, that it came fast, and that it was inspired. And I know that the message was caught, not only by the record, by our beloved friends and my producer, Michael, that's here listening, and he's going to store this in many platforms. All of that goes off without a hitch. I know that the divine is listening, for it is not optional, that right where I am, it is. That as I sit in this space and in this place, I know that I am communing with it, that it is communing through me as me, that it is growing right now in the direction of ease, of being congruent, being on purpose, being in alignment with. I know that it is pressed down and flowing out beyond all limitations, that it is unlimited and unleashed always. And so I give thanks for our time together. I give thanks for this ministry. I give thanks for this message. I give thanks for all my mentors that are here with me in consciousness, all my loved ones that have ascended, that have joined my team of being prayer partners. Thank you for being here. Thank you to New Thought Media Network and our affiliates with the affiliated New Thought Network and all of our loved ones that are listening. We are grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you. And so I set you free to be because you are anyways free to be. Thank you. We love you. Peace and blessings. Namaste and have a great day. Thank you.